Hey guys, a little disclaimer before you cook this recipe. I added 5 cloves of garlic to the bean puree. You actually want to do 3 in the bean puree and save 2 cloves of garlic for your kale, or you can do 2 and 1. But I added a little much so the beans were a little garlicky. I wanted to let y'all know so that your beans would not be too garlicky, but this dish is absolutely delicious, so I hope you enjoy. Hi healthy humans, welcome to New Leaf Table TV. I'm your host, Chef E. Today we're gonna make crispy mushrooms and kale over cannelloni beans. It's a plant-based dish that is super delicious and easily a weeknight meal. So our ingredients, we have Tuscan kale, some cilantro and feta to top with, a mixture of shiitake and button mushrooms, our rinsed and drained cannelloni beans, our salt, lime, some black sesame seeds, and garlic to make everything super delicious. So let's get started. First, let's chop everything that needs to be chopped so when we're ready to put it in our dish, it'll be ready to go. So I'm gonna start with our mushrooms. And you can just cut them either in quarters or in thirds. They will cook down a lot and they will release their moisture. So if you've never cooked with shiitake mushrooms, they have an awesome umami flavor. You're gonna love them. So I'm just gonna give these guys a rough chop. I'm gonna put them back. So those are ready to go. Next, we'll give our cilantro a rough chop. I say this a lot, but cilantro stems are actually super tasty. So I don't worry about de-stemming cilantro. I cut off the really leafy, hard end part, but I leave the stems in my cilantro. Alrighty. Throw that back in your container. And then we'll cut our garlic and our shallots and then our lime. So we just give this guy a half because he will be juiced into our bean puree. And your shallot, once again, we just need a rough chop. So no need to mince unless you just have somebody you're trying to hide the shallot from. Shallots are in the onion family, but they add so much flavor to a dish, they're well worth it. So I'm just gonna roughly chop these guys. Whew, my eyes can feel those. And then our garlic. We really like garlic in our family. So this recipe calls for 5 cloves. If you're not a garlic fan, maybe use 1 or 2, but definitely use some. Okay, now we're ready to get our mushrooms started. So turn on your burner to medium-high heat, halfway between medium-high. I'm gonna take avocado oil. You could also use butter and get just a good coating in the bottom of my pan. And then we will add our mushrooms. So these are gonna cook down and get crispy. You wanna leave them in here for 8 to 10 minutes, and then you'll transfer them to a plate, and we'll cook the kale in the same pan, and then you'll only have dirtied 1 kitchen pan. I'm gonna add some salt and some pepper to this. You'll just stir these occasionally and let them cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, while our mushrooms are getting nice and crispy, we are gonna make our bean puree. So So I have rinsed and drained cannelloni beans. You can use a blender, food processor, whatever you have that's most convenient. All of our garlic. Some olive oil. We're gonna squeeze in our lime juice. Try not to make the lime juice go everywhere. I'm gonna do both halves. And lastly, some salt. A couple good pinches of salt. I'm gonna stir my mushrooms real quick. Okay, now let's puree our beans. You can also add a few tablespoons of water if you need it for consistency. I like to give it a little puree first and see how much I'm gonna need. You don't want it to be too liquidy, but a little bit will help. Sometimes you'll need to scrape down the sides. I'm gonna give this a try. Those are some garlicky, good beans. Okay, we can set this aside. We will use this when we plate everything up. Okay, our mushrooms are getting nice and crispy. So we are just going to take them and lay them on a plate and set them aside. These look so good. Then in the same pan over medium-high heat, add some more avocado oil and your shallots. And you're gonna let these soften for about a minute. Just kind of give them a stir and let them soften up. Okay, our shallots are just beginning to brown, so we're gonna add our kale to the same pan. And it might look like a lot of kale, but all of this kale will cook down a lot and get nice and crispy. So go ahead and add it all in there. And then we will add some sea salt and pepper to this mix. And then just give it a nice toss. And you'll want to cook this down for 3 to 5 minutes until the kale gets nice and soft and a little bit crispy. That bright green flavor, lots of antioxidants in our kale. All right, our kale is nice and wilted. Our shallots are crispy. Mushrooms are done. I'm gonna show y'all how to plate this up. So take some of your bean puree, put it on bottom. All right, take your bean mixture, add your kale and shallots over the top. Add some mushrooms. Make sure and get some shiitake. Add some of your chopped cilantro and feta cheese if you like feta. You could also do Parmesan. And then I am going to add some black sesame seeds. They taste pretty similar to white sesame seeds, but They're very delicious. To the top. And there you have it. Crispy mushrooms and kale over pureed cannelloni beans. It's an awesome plant-based weeknight meal that your family is sure to love. That's all we have for tonight. Thanks for watching New Leaf Table TV. I'm your host, Chef E. Until we dine again, farewell, healthy humans. To subscribe to New Leaf Table's meal plan service with weekly meals and easy delivery through your existing Amazon Fresh membership, visit our website at newleaftable.com. And also, please hit the subscribe button to our YouTube channel. Today we're gonna make crispy mushrooms and kale dish. It's gonna be delicious. Well, there isn't like a name for it. It's just crispy and I'll say a plant-based crispy mushrooms and kale over pureed cannelloni beans. Okay, and let them soften up. Do, do, do.